Om Sahana Vavatu Sahano Bhunaktu Saha Viryam Karavavahai Tejasvinavadhitamastu ma Vidvishavahai. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Hari Om.
Hari Om. Dear students, last time we discussed one game, two sides of the one game, that was chess, 400 chess or double-handed chess. Today the other two games, minor games, indoor games will be dealt with. Most important of that is the Gandifa, that means the playing cards, and the other will be snakes and ladders, which everybody has played during its childhood. Once we come to Gandifa, see the word Gandifa, they say Gandifa is a Persian word meaning playing cards. But it is just possible that there is a verb in Sanskrit which means Ganja, means to make noise. See, when a winner wins something and defeats his opponent, joyfully he shouts. So that could be Ganjifa, that means the shouting out of joy, out of victory over the other. And third important thing is Ganja is the Persian word and a Russian word also, which means a treasure. So Ganjifa is a kind of a treasure, mental pleasure for those who are bored by the ordinary monotonous work which we do every day. Get the point? So Chitta Lasya Nivaranaya, this is, so to say, Chitta Alasya Nivaranaya, to remove the laziness of your intellect. These games were, so to say, discovered by the Indians. And one more important point about the Indian games is, we don't require much money to play that. With ordinary things we can play that. So Gandifa is there, or we do Chauri, Kaudis, or Dyut also. We don't need highly sophisticated material. Even for this snakes and ladders also, even chess. But the important thing is, they train your brain and they have motor activities kept intact. See, when you, so to say, handle the different kinds of Gandifas, automatically your activity of fingers also is in force. Then you have to remember the cards which are given to your opponent. Remember that, sharpen your interest and play in such a way that you win. So the winning was important, but winning with the help of your intellect. That of course in Gandifa you can cheat anywhere in any game. You can cheat, even in Buddhi world you can cheat, or playing cards. Cheating is a natural tendency of human beings. So apart from that, but when we play Gandifa, we must know what is Gandifa, how many works are there. And fortunately for us, there are some 3 or 4 manuscripts which exist in India, but unfortunately I could not get their copies from Indian authorities, but I got them from foreign scholars. So one manuscript deposited in Bikaner, Rajasthan in India, I got its Xerox copy from Amsterdam in Vienna. Because that man came here, he got a manuscript, he was a white-skinned man, I also told you, white-skinned man, still that awe is there, oh, he's a Britisher, he's a white-skinned man, Indians are black-skinned. So we don't help ourselves. We feel very proud to help the foreigners. The tendency still continues to some extent. So in this way, when the foreigners start working on it, and if they know that you are sincerely working in a subject, on a subject, one good thing about the foreigners is they wholeheartedly help you in your research. You ask for a copy, they will send it. And I have good relations with Victoria Albert Museum, London, Germany, America, etc. But they must be convinced that you are doing a sincere work, not top-notch work. And they are more the students are more intelligent to know what the teacher does not know. They don't understand what the teacher knows, but they can say that this teacher does not understand this, does not know this. They are intelligent enough. But what the teacher knows is not known by much of the students. So the foreigners know that if you are really working sincerely, they wholeheartedly help you. And I have been benefited by their cooperation of the foreigners for all these 47, 48 years. Because their only aim is, they don't believe in your linguistic difficulties, in your caste system or your class system. They are not bothered about it. They are bothered only about the sincerity of your purpose and the diligence with which you work. So if you are sincere in your work, they help you. And I got help from them. So the Ganjifa, we come to Ganjifa again. Ganjifa was an indoor game to be played by 3 or 4 persons. Everybody knows the foreign Ganjifa, the square Ganjifas, Purna Deshita or foreign, Vaila. But the basic quality of Indian Ganjifa was they were round in shape. Purnamadaha Purnamidam, Purnat Purna Udachyate, Purnasya Purnamadaya, Purnamevavase. That was a replica of the universe, round. And they were made from paper or lac or something, ordinary persons. So ordinary persons also could play this game. But if there is any wealthy person, he can ask for a Ganjifa of Hastidanta or even Shimpa, that means mother of pearls. So these were the Ganjifas prepared by hand. They were not manufactured by machine, etc. So they were already a little bit costly. But they were, so to say, drawn, the pictures were drawn by the local artists. So they were indigenous games, Indian games, native to this. The first reference to Ganjifa, the scholars say, occurs in Akbarnama. You know Akbar, the so-called great. But Akbarnama mentions Ganjifa like Gajapati, Ashwapati, Gadapati. Names are Sanskrit. The names of the leaders are Sanskrit. That means at that time also we had Ganjifa players in India. But unfortunately, the literature regarding Ganjifa has not come down to us. I could collect 5 or 6 manuscripts only in India. There are no manuscripts of Ganjifa outside India. And Indian manuscripts also, I got copies from foreign countries. This is the tragedy of Indian scholarship. So I can give you the details of that. But Ganjifa, they considered it to be Ganja is a treasure. So that was a treasure of your art, artistic view and the paintings, etc. by the Chitar. They were known as Chitaris. That means artists who painted the Ganjifas. Okay? And now, see, since we are in India, we have Hindu way of life. So most important type of Ganjifa is Dashavatari Ganjifa, 10 avatars of Vishnu. Every pack will have a king, a queen and 1 to 10. In the first 5 avatars of Vishnu, after queen, 1 will be highest and 10 will be lowest, and second 5, the 10 will be highest and 1 will be lower. You know 10 avatars of Vishnu? What is the first avatar? Matsya or Kurma? Matsya. Then Kurma. Kurma can be on the land also. Varaha. Fourth? No, Narsimha is not fourth. Fourth is Vamana. So Matsya avatar, Kurma avatar, Varaha avatar, Nrsimha avatar, sorry. Then Vamana avatar. See, Nrsimha is elephant, man and animal. Then Vamana, a short man. Then Parshurama, a little bit height. Then Rama, the Ajanubahu. Then Krishna, then Buddha, and then Kalki. So these were 10 avatars of Vishnu. And every avatar had, so every pack had 12 cards. King, queen, and 1 to 10. King will be shown as sitting on a Simhasana. The queen or wazir, what you call wazir, mantri we should call, not wazir, mantri will be on horse. And all other cards will have the pictures, the emblems of the avatar to which they belong. So if there is a Rama avatar, so there will be one picture of Dhanushya, if it is Ekka, 2 for 2, 3 for 3, if it does it is 10 pictures. So the pictures will show the strength of that particular card. And how will recognize this card belongs to that? So there are some set rules that if there is Parshu, it is Parshurama. If there is Kurma, it is Kurma avatar. It is Varaha, it is Varaha avatar. So 10 pictures of Varaha means 10th of Varaha avatar. Okay? So these are very simple things. And one important thing about Indian Ganjifa was there was no trump. No hukum nahi. When you play during daytime, the person who has Rama in his hand will play because Rama was born in daytime. If you play at night, it will be Krishna. If you play in the evening time, neither day nor night, Sandhya Kala, then it is Narasimha because Narasimha appeared in the evening. So these were the set rules. You couldn't say set rules, these are Sanketas. These were what we call Sanketa in English. Convention. This was the convention. And another important point with Indian Ganjifas was, you are not supposed to play the card of the Raja of that particular avatar only singly. Because Raja, see, when you bring your god to your house, you give some asana to the god. Get the point? You don't ask the god or a senior person to sit on floor. You give some asana, you give some seat. So when you play Ganjifa, you have to play two cards. One card is Rama card, Hukum, that means highest card of Rama. But in order that Rama should be comfortable, you have to play the, so to say, lowest number of card, that means lowest value card, that means lowest value on it, Rama will be there. Then third important thing, there was no restriction of playing only Rama card as far as Rama is concerned, which is the case in Western Ganjifa, Western playing cards. If speak is there, you have to play speak, not cover. Okay? So no hukum, and you can play according to the time and start with the avatar which took place on a particular time of the day or evening, etc. or night. Then there was no hukum, and this way the game was played. Unfortunately, for last nearly 75 years, this game has not been played by Indian scholars. From 77 onwards, I have been visiting different parts of India, but I did not find even a single person who could play the Dashavatari Ganjifa or any other Indian Ganjifa, because these Ganjifas were more popular in royal families and the families were connected with royals. So it was supposed to be a game of the wealthy persons, and ordinary person used to play it. But when all the states of India were merged in India, automatically the kings also forgot everything of their past. I stay in Baroda, there is the biggest palace known as Lakshmi Vilas Palace. I went there, I talked to the royal person, they said, we have Ganjifa, but we don't know how to play them. So we have only rules, I have a lot of books giving you the rules, but unless you practically play the game, you will not understand the difficulties which you encounter. So the game of Ganjifa is very rich, very artistic, exquisitely beautiful, but unfortunately, nobody is able to give you any idea as to how the game was played. We have rules. There are technical terms, Natavani, Nito. What is Natavani? Nobody knows what is Natavani because it is out of currency now. With the help of the modern Ganjifa, that means European Ganjifa, square Ganjifa, we have lost everything of our culture. But fortunately for us, those who are really love the country, some foreigners are working on it. And the greatest name of one foreigner who worked on the Ganjifa of all the entire universe, all the nations, was Rudolf von Leiden. He came from Vienna, Amsterdam, Vienna, and he wrote a wonderful book in English, Playing Cards of India. It was published by Victoria Albert Museum, London. You know that name. Lata Mangeshkar was the first lady to sing there, Victoria Albert Museum. He had come to Baroda in 1977, he met me, and the 1977 Air India calendar was prepared by this man. And Rudolf von Leiden basically was the correspondent with Times of India. He was staying in Bombay. He was a reporter, correspondent reporter. while visiting different places in India, he saw somebody playing games, he got curious about it, he discussed them, jotted down the notes, and he wrote a wonderful paper somewhere in 1950, Ganjifa, the Playing Cards of India, and it was published in the Marga edition. You know what is Marga? Marga is an yearly publication, research publication of the Tata Group. Tata Group, you know, recently Ratan Tata died, and it is published by the Taj Mahal Hotel in Bombay. Taj Mahal Hotel belongs to the Tatas. So Marga publication belongs to Tata, and Marga publication publishes every year one volume, a special volume. Sometimes it is special volume Ganjifa, somewhere 40, 54. Then will be special volumes games, board games, etc. That also are published by Marga. Then there will be special volumes on textiles and costumes. So all their volumes are special volumes, one yearly, and there it is a bit costly. Their subscription for 1 year is nearly 800 rupees. But 800 rupees you spend for 1 year and you get wonderful collector's item book of the publication of Marga. I have so many Marga publications with me, then I donated them to my students and libraries. Because sometimes my interest was in playing cards, and what you call snakes and ladders. I got that material. Remaining I did not want, so I donated it, I gifted it. But every year they bring out some special issue. And the Ganjifa issue was published some 50 years, 60 years back. And there this paper of Rudolf von Leiden, so that was the first paper which, so to say, evoked interest in Indians about the playing card tradition of India. But unfortunately, no Sanskrit scholar looked to it. There was one great scholar in Pune, Professor G.H. Khare. In 1942, he wrote a Marathi paper on Bharatiya Ganjifa, but it was mainly on Mughal Ganjifa, etc. And after that, there is no Marathi paper on Ganjifa. So it was in 1982 when I wrote a work, Sanskrit verse on the game of Ganjifa. It is a bibliographical bibliography of Ganjifa verse. And when I gave a lecture in Pune in his presidency, he said, I had done a little bit work, you have done 40 years, you have done a lot of work, advanced work. Because I got Oriental Institute connection, we have connection all over the world. Because our journal goes to different universities and research institutes. And most important attraction of the Oriental Institute for the foreigners is a rich and varied collection of manuscripts. I am very sorry to say, very few Indian scholars study manuscript, but we have 90% of scholars coming from foreign countries to refer to our manuscripts. So whenever they used to come, since I was in charge of the manuscript section, they naturally had to talk to me, discuss me. In this way, I developed friendship with them, and I got material whichever I wanted and which I never got in Baroda. So the Ganjifa is a very important game, but now it is out of currency because of the foreign playing cards. Now we come to the varieties of Ganjifa. First I told you Dashavatara Ganjifa. Then we have Navagraha Ganjifa. You know Navagraha. So Navagraha Ganjifa same, 12 into 9, 96, to be played by 3 or 4 persons. Then we have Rashi Ganjifa, 12 Rashis, Mesh, Vrishabh, Mithun, Karka. So whoever was interested in Jyotisha created Rashi Ganjifa, created Navagraha Ganjifa. And there is only one reference, historical reference to Rashi Ganjifa, saying that this Ganjifa set is to be prepared and sent to the Peshwas in Pune. That's why there is only reference. Page 197-98 of a Marathi book, Peshwaicha Savli, written by Nago Chapekar in 1949-50. So that is the only information, and all the details are given. I have the details, Mesha Rashi, what is the picture, what is the color, what is the Vahana, where we see it, etc. Then we have the Rashi Ganjifa, then Ramayana Ganjappa, that is from Orissa. So Ramayana Ganjappa is dealing with Ramakatha, Rama and Ravana. The playing cards belonging to Rama side should be on the right hand side, and the playing card belonging to the Ravana side should be on the left hand side. Get the point? That also a huge amount of manuscript. And the most important, most exquisitely beautiful Ganjifas are from Mysore. You know Krishnaraj Vodeyar, last time I referred to his Sri Tatvanidhi, where chess is described. In Sri Tatvanidhi, he has described 13 varieties of Ganjifa. And how many pages? I just read the name of the car and the amount of total cards of that sea. Chamundeshwari Chhada, 320 cards. Jagan Mohan Chhada, 360 cards. Navina Dashavatara Chhada, 240. Navagrah Chhada, 216. Pancha Pandava Chhada, 216 pages. Devi Dashavatara Chhada, 180. Dikpala Chhada, 160. Manohara Chhada, 160. Sarvamangala Chhada, 160. Navaratna Chhada, 160. Krishnaraja Chhada, 72. Sadyojatadi Chhada, 72. And Navina Rama Chhada, shortest is 36 pages. That's all. 36 cards. When I visited Mysore in 1982, I went to a shop known as Mysore Curios, and I saw a galicha full of playing cards. And one playing card cost at that time 200 rupees. And the man showed me a galicha. You know a galicha? Carpet, which you call it from Kashmir. There was a carpet full of this Navagar Chhada, and that would cost 32,000 rupees in 1982. I saw that in the shop. He said, who is going? He said, everything is exported. Because when the car, one single car costs 200 rupees, ordinary man cannot afford to have it. Get the point? So those cars were produced, manufactured and sent to foreign countries. But the problem with all these cards was how to hold this big number of cards, one thing, and how to remember which card is which man. Get the point? So they say, Chitta Alasya Nivaranaya. All these games were created to remove the laziness of your intellect, which you take, which you incur because of the monotonous work, studying, listening to the lecture, writing down, doing this. So that mode of this you can say, monotonous work, doing the same thing, creates laziness of mind. You say, I am bored. So in order to remove the boredom, these games were created by the Indian scholars. And the important thing nowadays is, there is one place in Sawantwadi. You know what? Sawantwadi is a place in Maharashtra where there is one was Lieutenant Colonel Shivaji Raje Bhosle, was a Lieutenant Colonel. He founded so to say company, Sawantwadi Lacquerwares, and he used to create these Ganjifas and export them. I visited place also, but they are very costly. And the same thing, one important problem with all these Ganjifa producers is they give you everything, including the rules and books of the rules, but nobody has played the Ganjifa card. It has only a value of, what can I say, cultural value. You can decorate your house with this. Curios, Indian things going to foreign countries. So that was the problem with Ganjifa. And since they were played mostly by their royal families and friends there, I can give one important thing to you. This Krishnaraja Vodeyar wrote the book Sri Tatvanidhi, but the commentary is in Kannada because he wanted the general persons to know the game and play them. But how many play nowadays? I have not seen anybody in that. Same thing with Mughal Ganjifa, Changa, Kanchana, Bharat, there are 8 packs, etc. But nobody knows. I can give you a fund of information about that, but unless and until you know how to play the game, it is of no use. We can just play on words. Why it is known as Chhada in Mysore? Chhada means to conceal. You are not supposed to show cards, because if you show your card, immediately the opponent will know this is 7th of Raja, this is 8th of Krishna. So you don't want to so to say expose yourself. So that is known as Chhada, to conceal to your own self. Get the point? And this way the Ganjifas were played some 70-80 years back But unfortunately, now there is not a single person who plays Ganjifa in any city of India. Possibly in villages they might be playing because it is very popular in villagers also. But villagers also found it difficult to get Ganjifas now. Because they are also, see those persons who were chitaris, who were preparing Ganjifas, now their children say, we don't want to go into this profession, not much money is again, so they have left their profession. The forefatherly professions, they have gone somewhere else. So this class of chitaris, this class of painters is dwindling day and day. So now after 10-15 years, you may not find even a single person who knows how to play playing card. They will produce it, no doubt about it, but there is business in it. But now all things is produced by the help of machine, with the help of the machine. So actual chitaris, actual painters are not necessary for that. And your AI, artificial intelligence, does everything, all work. You need not read your books also, you can answer anyway. You press a button, you get the answer. So slowly and slowly, our culture is disappearing from its own land, birth. But only thing is, one satisfactory thing to us is, some foreigners are still working on indoor games of India. One of the 2-3 persons I know, Andrew Topsfield, he is working on playing these snakes and ladders. I'll come to that. Snakes and ladders. They have a huge collection in London of Indian games. He is working on indoor games which are, so to say, exhibited in that museum. Then there is one Irvin Finkel, who is, so to say, studying from the point of view of sociology. I met him in Calcutta some 25 years back. So he said that snakes and ladders or this Ganjifa could be interpreted from the point of view of sociology. What was their mind, how was they socially placed, whether they were wealthy or they were very poor. So this sociological study is being done. And there is one person, what is his name? James. No, yes. He is in Jacob. Jacob has worked on these snakes and ladders. Why snake person of foreign origin is working on snakes and ladders, and why Indians are so to say not playing the game or discarding the game in view of the newer games. So that is a problem. But still they have interest in India. Foreigners have more interest in India than what Indians have. So that is the important. They will keep it alive. Even though it dies in India, it will be current in foreign countries. Now a position has come, Sanskrit is dying in India and it is being revived in Germany, etc. So foreign countries know the value and the worth of Indian culture and our religion, etc. and these things, games, etc. So they are very active in doing work on this. Yesterday I told you the foreigners have a company of a group of persons who are working on the history of chess. There are some Indians, there are all are foreigners, but there is a group. There is an institution, but most of them are foreigners, hardly 2-3 persons from India. So we have lost interest in our own culture, but the foreigners are very much interested into it. And I did not give you all the names of the Ganjifa. I could, so to say, discover 5 manuscripts dealing with Ganjifa. But unless and until we know how to play, it's of no use. I can give you the color of the Ganjifa, what is the strength of that. But unless you practically play it, it's of no use. So I have all these notes with me, which books the Kreeda Dharohar has given 3 varieties of Ganjifa, that with foreign Ganjifa, Changakan, there is Mughal Ganjifa and Dashavatari Ganjifa. In Bengal there is Vishnupur Ganjifa. Vishnupur is a place in there. There is Vishnupur Ganjifa, a different variety, very more beautiful than the other Ganjifas. So Vishnupur Achhada you can see in that Ramakrishna Mission, Gold Park, Calcutta. I have seen it. All the Vishnubar Ganjif are displays on the showcase. But they are haphazardly arranged because nobody knows the importance of the game. So when I went there in 1990, Swami, was that Swami Nikhileshwarananda? He referred to that and I said, what is that? There is one manuscript of Jnaneshwari also, Marathi manuscript. Then I went there, some wrong information was given. I gave the correct information. I have signed there, March 2010. March 1990. My sign is still there. I have given a slip on it, which is now kept with the manuscript of Jnaneshwari. You can go and see. Ramakrishna Mission, Gold Park, Calcutta 27. That is the address. Am I right? So I have stayed there 5 days. And so these are the important things. We have lost interest in it, but foreigners are still working on that, keeping their interest alive and trying to impress on our own Indian person by, see, this is your culture, this is your treasure, this is Ganja is the treasure, but we are not able to understand the value of our own treasure. That is a tragedy. So last time we did Chaturanga, today we finished Ganjifa, and Ganjifa was, so to say, more related or limited to the royal families or the Sardars as we call them. Sajawar Khan was there. Then I told you that Anup Singh, the king of Bikaner, he was in Aurangabad. So one manuscript of this Ganjifa Khilena Krama was taken by Anup Singh from Aurangabad and deposited in Bikaner. The rural von Leiden went to Bikaner. He got the copy of it, photocopied it, but I did not get, my letters were not answered. So when he came to Baroda, I said, I said, all right. He sent a Xerox copy from Amsterdam. See, our own work, our own manuscript, I am getting from foreigner. This is a tragedy. Okay? I don't do much detail on this. We come to the next, another important game. That is snakes and ladders. Everybody has played this game. Even today, people played it. Even on TV also they show it. What is the snakes and ladders? The first reference in Sanskrit to snakes and ladders is in a book known as Kreeda Dharohar. It was published in 1880. The book was, last time I referred to it, Kreeda Dharohar, Venkatram Harikrishna, a Gujarati fellow from Kannauj, settled in Maharashtra and working on games. So I told you yesterday about the peculiar Maharashtrian way of playing chess. He was also there. So these were the scholars, and Kreeda Dharohar, there are 5 or 6 verses, and he says the game, see, in Maharashtra we have a tradition that Jnaneshwara, the great saint, 1275 to 1296 AD, who wrote the commentary Jnaneshwari on the Bhagavad Gita at the age of 16. He created a game known as Moksha Pata. Moksha Pata of Jnaneshwara. What is this Moksha Pata? Pata is a chart by playing on which you reach moksha. Get the point? And the simple thing what he taught was Moksha Pata is nothing but a game to show or to describe the Bhagavata philosophy to these Warkaris. You know Warkaris going to Pandharpur every year? They are not educated, but in order that they should understand the principles of Bhagavata Dharma, Jnaneshwara created this game. So this game has 2 purposes. One is to play, pass your time, and other is to gain knowledge of your religion or Bhagavata Dharma. Bhagavata Dharma is Sadachara Dharma. If you do good things will come to you. If you do bad things, you will have the consequences to suffer. So this is simple. And how it is to be impressed on the people who are not educated, those uneducated Warkaris, they are going to worry every year. They are not educated as such. But they have a terrible retentive memory which you and we don't have. And the only instance I'll give is, you know Bombay Dabbawalas, they are very famous in America also. management. Without knowing anything, without studying, they are better than the modern management gurus. So Americans have come to Bombay to study their work ethics, the arrangement they do while delivering the dabbas, tiffin boxes, from this end of Bombay to that end of Bombay, and again taking it back to their respective houses. They don't change it. They don't forget this is the house, this is the dabba. So that intellect they had, but they were not knowing the philosophy. So they were followers of Dhaneshwara or Bhagavad Dharma. So Dhaneshwara thought that while playing the game, we can make the game so interesting that slowly and slowly they will understand what is our Bhagavata Dharma, what is the philosophy of India, or we can say, I'll show you one thing. These are the charts. So what he did, he said, see, we are supposed to go through 84 laksha yonis, 84 yonis you can say. So while going through the 84 yonis and while getting moksha, what are you to do? You have to do good karma, and that's what he says. From Janma he starts, Prakriti, Janma, then Dukkha, Sukruta. But he comes to a place at fourth place, Sukruta. If you do good things, there is a ladder which takes you to Sushila. You are a gentleman. And from gentleman, you have Sadutpatti. You go to that cause. Then from Sadutpatti, you go to Swakarmarata. So these are the things. He has given you good things, good qualities of our personality and bad qualities of our personality, which lead us either to higher places or to lower places through the mouth of the snake. Get the point? He has given he said, if you do ninda of anybody, if you are sitting on a position and if you abuse your boss, what will be the effect? Padachuti, you will be demoted. Same thing happens modern times also. So all these things, good things and bad things, so this is philosophy of Bhagavata Dharma. If you do good things, you go through ladder upwards, and otherwise you come down. So in order to teach these simple philosophical Vedantic terms, he created this chart. And with the help of this chart, the person will see the chart and say, oh, this is like this. So we must do good things for our betterment, for our mental peace. And mental peace is the greatest gift God has given to us. And India is the only place which has given you a science which makes you to train your mind, that is Yoga Shastra. Yoga Shastra trains your mind in such a way, and you know, mana eva manushyanam karanam bandha mokshayo. If you are good, you will have no bandhana. If you are bad, continue. So in order that you should understand the good things in life, even if you are not, and you will see the persons in the villages are more cultured than some persons staying in the cities. Because Sushikshita does not mean Susamskrita. Sanskriti and Shikshan are a different thing. You may be well educated, but you may be arrogant. A person who is not educated generally is not arrogant, because that samskara is there. The samskaras matter, and samskara is what makes you a person, individual. So Dhaneshwara thought that we should create a game which will entertain them during their vari, as well as allow them to understand the basic principles of our religion. Understand? So that was Moksha Patha. And if you study this Moksha, you go to highest space, Vaikuntha. He was a Vaishnava, he said Vaikuntha, Bhakti Marga. But what happened next? When he created or discovered, or should say invented this game, it went to south, down south. Tanjavur was the Maharashtra Raja, Sarpoji Raja. So they took it and they, so to say, created a new game or new nomenclature that they call Parama Pada Sopana Patam, all ending. And there, instead of 84 houses, they increased the houses they increased the occupants of the office. The king was there, queen was there, Sardar was there, then this design center. So it was a big plan. And those charts are still available at 8 annas, 12 annas on any shop in Tamil Nadu. So they took it Paramapada Sopana Patam. So Paramapada Sopana, you have to climb down the stairs to go to highest place. So that was one variety. See, Gujarat is next to Maharashtra. So the Gujaratis thought, when the Hindus have tried to teach their religion, Bhagavata Dharma, why should it not be? So the Jainas created Jnanavaji to teach the religion of Jains. Ahimsa, Paramo Dharma, whatever it is. Ashrava, Samvar, all these things. But as you know, Gujarat was ruled by Muslims. So there is a lot of Muslim influence on Gujaratis. When they wish you New Year, they say Sal Mubarak. The word Sal or the word is not Indian, but they do it. So I say call it Nutan Varshabhinandan. So their culture is influenced by the Persian. So there is Jnana Baji. Baji is a game. Baji which gives you Jnana. Jnana is Kevala Jnana. According to we say Moksha, they Kevala Jnana. Arhat. So they created the variety of snakes and ladders to teach their own religious philosophy. Then Swaminarayan's came 200 years later, 200 years back. It is now almost 300 years. In 1985, they completed 200 years. Now count, 250 years, 240 years. They thought that we should have our own. The Tantrikas were there. They said also, we will also have a game of ladders, snakes and ladders, to teach the philosophy of Tantra. But all these things happened in India with religion as a base. But when it went, see, I always tell, wherever you go, you take your culture. So these Indian businessmen went for business outside India also. So they took this culture there. And in English we have snakes and ladders, but they don't have religious things there. I inquired with one foreigner fellow, his father, well, he's an Italian father. He has domiciled in Ahmedabad and he learned Gujarati so well that he writes in Gujarati. His books are in Gujarati, not in English. He also said, our snakes and ladder doesn't have anything to do with religion. Only in India, in order to propagate my philosophy, my religion, or my sect, we have that snakes and ladders. Get the point? So earlier the snakes and ladder, 84 houses, they were increased in Paramapada Sopanapata. To some extent they were increased by the Jains to see their philosophy. And another two versions of this happened in Maharashtra. See, there is a place named as Madhana near Amravati. Not Amravati of Andhra Pradesh, Amravati of Maharashtra, near North. There was a blind fellow, Gulab Rao Maharaj. He was blind from birth. Very intelligent fellow. He created Aksha Kreeda Vishay. He considered himself to be daughter of Dhaneshwara. And he has worked on Dhaneshwari also. A very good scholar. He has written 64 Sanskrit verses. Sanskrit verse. Addition to the Marathi verse also there. Philosophy is there, Nyaya is there, Tarka is there, all things. You have to intellectual giant, what we call Prajna Chakshu. We don't call a person blind, we call him Prajna Chakshu. So he was really Prajna Chakshu and he created Aksha Kreeda Vishesh. Aksha, these were placed by dice. It contained 285 houses. What is the speciality of the Aksha Kreeda Vishesh? See, I told you, Dhaneshwara created or invented this game to teach the philosophy of Bhagavata. That means Hinduism, you can say, in short. Jains created to propagate their religion. But this Maharaj, Gulab Rao Maharaj, thought that anyway we have to teach the philosophy. So he learned the philosophy of all the existent religions at that time, including Hindu, Jain, Buddha, Sikh, Christian, Parsi and Judaism. Have you heard of Judaism? Judaism is Jews, modern day Israel. Jesus Christ was not a Christian, he was a Jew. But he preached some religion which is known as Christianity. He was a Christ, so he became foreign countries in where these Christians don't have the exact picture of the 30 days when Jesus Christ was absent. They say he stayed in Himalayas. And his work, Sermon on the Mount, have you heard this name, Sermon on the Mount? He has given Upadesha to his people. And that Upadesha is nothing but Vedanta. You go to that, and there is a small book written by a Swami from Ramakrishna Matha on Sermon on the Mount, a Vedantic interpretation. Read it. So when he stayed in Himalayas, he learnt Hinduism. And that is reflected is that Sermon on the Mount. So Maharaja, this Gulab Rao Maharaj learnt Judaism, Christianity, Parsi, that means Zoroastrianism, and whatever good qualities were described in these religions, as well as bad qualities which were described in these religions, he put them together, amalgamated them in this game which is known as Aksha Kreeda, 285 houses. So philosophical principles, philosophical tenets, Hinduism, Christianity, Musalman, everything was included, and he made a big chart of it, 285. And you know, Chhatrapati Shivaji, the great king from Maharashtra, the South India is very much indebted to him because he did not allow the Muslims to go down to Maharashtra. So Tamilians also say that Shivaji saved us. Bharatnatyam wala say our Bharatnatyam is real pure because Shivaji blocked them in Maharashtra only. So Shivaji guru was Samartha Ramdas, political guru. You know Samartha Ramdas man who had the Dasbodh and Manache Shlok. He has addressed 205 verses to your mind. He said, Jagi Sarva Sukhi Asa Kono. Who is the person who is 100% Sukhi in this world? Nobody is there. So that Ramadasa was the guru of Chhatrapati Shivaji. And Ramadasa is supposed to have created a game which was prevalent only in his mathas. You know, Ramarasa mathas are in South India also, in Tamil Nadu, near Tanjavur. So this Samartha Sampradaya, the sect of Samartha, they had a new variety of snakes and ladders. It was not known earlier. Some 10 years back, one lady from Pune who is working on Samartha Raja's Vangmay, when she visited different mathas all over Maharashtra, South, etc., she came to know through the mathapatis that this game existed, and she had brought out this matha saying that Jnaneshwara's Mokshapata and the Mokshapata of Samartha Sampradaya, she had a book here, I have a copy of it, and there she had shown 312 houses, and all that philosophy of that Samartha Ramdas is described in that chart. I have that chart also with me. So philosophical tenets to be taught in such a way that the uneducated persons also understand what is good and what is bad, what we should work for, what should avoid, how should we behave with others, how the others should behave with, all these morality, ethics, everything, society studies, etc. is described through these games. So these games were important for the general public, for the most uneducated man to know what was our philosophy, what Jnaneshwar said, and you will be wondered to know most of the saints from Maharashtra were uneducated. Jnaneshwar, etc., Jnaneshwar, Ramdas, Eknath, they were educated. All others had their own limitations. But they were good at heart and they were mukta persons. So they could realize, they could have intuition of these things. And Namdev's 81 bhajanas of Ramdev are in Punjab, that Granth Sahib. So how they went there from Maharashtra to that place? All Bhakti Marga. So Bhakti Marga is Sadachara. Do good to others and they will do good to you. Very simple philosophy of life. So all this philosophy of life was taught by these fellows through the medium of the game, now which is known as snakes and ladders, but which was created as Moksha Pata, a pata or chart which will take you to the highest reality that you are one with God. जीवात्मा परमात्मा वन है, यानी मोक्ष. What is moksha? Moksha is samatva of your mind. You are not disturbed by dukha, you are not elated by sukha also. Sukha dukhe same krutva labha labho jaya jayo. So samatvam yoga uchyate. And moksha is state of mind where you don't bother about good things and bad things. That is moksha. Moksha, there is no swarga, there is no narka. You have to do everything here only. If you trouble somebody, you have to suffer its consequences in this life only. You don't say I am going to have this swarga, I am going to have 70 hurrahs in that jannat and junnat or whatever it is. There is no hurrah event like this. Everything is here. Jina yahan, marna yahan, wahi hai. So all these things, all these saints thought that since we are living in this life, at least our life should be better. We should live a better life, more cultured life, so that we don't disturb others and others don't disturb us. So all these games had a unique background of Indian culture, Indian Sanskriti, Indian Parampara, Indian Dharma, or Indian religion, whatever you call it, or Pantha. So all our games were centered around the name of the God. When you play Ganjifa, you take the name of Rama, Krishna, and we still believe, uttering the name of God, Vithala, 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 you repeat this 5 times, 5 minutes, you will have no trouble in heart. This experiment is done in Pune. So your heart pressure, that means this is completely controlled. Thala, 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 that's how. So ram, 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 all these tantra words, they have some meaning. We don't understand what is Aim Hrim Kim Chamunda, Aim that Om Nada, that creates vibration in your brain. It makes you sharp. So all these games have not only a background, the base of religion, base of our Sanskriti, base of our Dharma, and it is all around that play that we are playing, taking the name of God and going to experience peace of mind while living in this world. I think I should stop here. Thank you for your patient hearing. Purnamidam Purnat Purnamudachyate Purnasya Purnamadaya Purnamevavasishyate. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Hari Om Shri Gurubhyo Namaha. Hari Om.